right. What's happening, people? What's going on?
All is lovely.
Got him in the house. We got the man in the house. What's going on, Dexter? How we doing, man?
Everything is lovely, man.
Yeah.
We've had a good month in terms of executing on the agenda items that we wanted to work on this quarter. It seems to me that we're ahead of schedule. So I apologize. There's a lot of noise in the hall right now. But probably the biggest thing is the fact that we finally got on Darwin Jr.'s radar. Shout out to my friend Dana Lash, who basically set the whole thing up at SHOT Show. Talked to him about the case, talked to him on camera about the case, and that was a big shot in the arm for our PR. That was great. So now this month we're really gonna renew our focus on the kinds of relief we can get at the federal level. A lot of people have asked, can the president pardon you? The answer is no. The president cannot pardon me because my case is a state case, not a federal case. But the president of the United States can direct his Department of Justice to investigate what's happening to me and to other New Yorkers on civil rights grounds, because of course the Second Amendment protects a basic civil right. So that's going to be our focus in February. Along with trying to up our numbers and get more people involved, get more people aware, is to get all our people. You basically singing from that same hymn book, like, okay, Mr. President, let's get the DOJ involved. The state of New York is getting away with murder in terms of just violating the Constitution, violating people's rights, and making money from it. The prison industrial complex in New York State is a money machine, and it's one thing if they're locking up people who are out there hurting our fellow citizens. That's all to the good. But it's another thing entirely if they call themselves locking people up for exercising their basic civil rights. And that's what we're talking about, basic civil rights. So this month, that's the focus is civil rights and enforcement. And look,
kind of
it happened
up
before. This is so. Hang on a second. Yeah, it happened before. It sometimes happens, that when the Democrats are out in the states doing their Jim Crow thing, the federal government has to get involved. So we're no strangers to that kind of situation. And, that's the situation we're in now. That's where we're at.
Not only, Dexter, did Don Jr. kind of get an ear. You know what? Only thing I didn't like about that situation is he didn't answer the question. If you go back and listen, she posed a question to him, and he did not answer the question. And then he goes into making the whole segment pretty much about himself. I was kind of disappointed, and I'm glad she did what she did. Don't get me wrong, I'm not I'm bitch and moan about it, but to me, I'm looking at it going, dude, answer the question. Number one, number two. She asked you about Dexter. She didn't really ask you about you and your family and all this here type of stuff. But anyway, Newsmax, the guy from Newsmax, also was talking about you too. I don't know if they told you about. Okay. I don't know if you told about that, but yeah, he actually signed. Yeah, he actually signed that red hat that everybody's been signing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff.
That's good stuff.
So some some people in some places is actually
Mm-hmm.
making a difference in hearing of and of you and for you. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really really stoked to have that and hopefully
Yeah.
people will keep throwing your name out there to Don Jr. every time he's in an interview or every time he's somewhere, and hopefully he'll answer the question,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll
Well,
go
look,
from there.
look, I gotta be honest. Whether he answers the question or not is, it is what it is. Like I said, my main ask, my number one ask is let for him to bring it up to his dad. Say, hey, when are you gonna direct your Department of Justice to investigate, the government of New York and its violations of Americans' civil rights? That's the objective. If that happens, we don't have to worry about if Don Jr. like how much he says about me personally or what have you. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
If we get a Department of Justice that is really focused on civil rights, on Second Amendment rights being first class civil rights, and not second class rights like the Democrats want to make them, then we're good. You know what I'm saying? That's what's important. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
So for all those who just jumping on board, it's a Sunday, and usually what we try to do is get a conversation going with Dexter Taylor, who is actually calling from prison as we speak right now, and see how he's doing. Give him an opportunity to throw out his 2 cents into this here nutty world that we're in right now, and everything that's going on. So for those, like I said, for those who are new, for those who have been with us during these times that Dexter's been hanging out with us, retweet this. Somebody's gonna hear it. Somebody's gonna see it. Somebody's gonna be curious about what's going on, what we're doing here, and why we're doing it, and maybe to get to the higher ups and somebody start doing something to deal with some of these corrupt Democrats that we have, and that's what this is all about. We have a group of corrupt Democrats who decide that they wanted to make Dexter Taylor a true political prisoner, because that's what he is at the end of the day. We can say whatever you want, put it any way you want, knowing that this man did nothing to end up in, and that's what I want people to understand. The man did nothing but what he has the right to do under the Second Amendment, and the corrupt Democratic Party decide to make an example out of this man. So we're fighting. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. So
real quick, we got Stanley Steele on the line with us.
Oh, Stanley!
How's everybody?
Everything is good. Everything is good, brother.
Thank God. Thank
Yes,
God.
sir. Give thanks and praise every day. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. I want to say hello to everybody, to the brother Carl, to the brother Dexter, to the brother Reverend Christopher. Thank you guys for having me on. And, just to continue on what the Reverend was saying, the second guy that he was talking about was Chris Salcedo. Newsmax, I believe.
Yeah.
He's actually physically signed the cap with all these other people that signed it as well on your behalf. So, like I've been saying, man, before as well, every bit of it helps. Every bit of reach that we're doing, like with the gun clubs or somebody you just never know who people know. So every bit of it could turn into something. You just never know. So it's like the old saying. Wayne Gretzky had an old saying. He would say, "You miss
100% of the shots you don't take."
Yeah. So just take the shots, man. You know, that's what we doing out here, trying to get you out of there. And you know, when this thing started, like I was telling you about that guy that I was dealing with.
You have 1 minute left.
Even he's different now towards me. Like I can feel the difference. So that must mean
You talking
that.
about?
Yeah.
You talking about T? You talking about Tom?
Yeah. Man, he's a little different now. He's a little more, you know, he's
Well,
different.
let's do this here because we got that 1 minute warning. So we're gonna let Dexter disconnect, and then we'll catch him on the backside of this thing.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good. All right, brother. I'll be back.
We'll see you in a minute. Thanks, man.
All right.
So again,
The caller has hung up.
Like I said, for those who just joining us, as you can see, so we only get him for a certain amount of time. Then Dexter will hang up, do what he has to do there, and then call us back, and then we can go from there. But we do have Stan with us on tonight with Carl, always in the background, doing what he does to boost the numbers up for us. So we're going to be running off at the mouth here in a little bit with Dexter. Stan, once again, hey, I sent you my link to my live, right? Did you get that?
Yes, I have it. And I'll get on there with you starting next week because what's tomorrow? The third. You told me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I can't do Friday.
Okay.
And Monday, Wednesday, I got basketball practice with the girls, and I got a game on Wednesday, and then the season will be over. So after that, I'll be free and clear to, come on and whatnot. But I got girls practice tomorrow, and I got a game on Wednesday. I actually got a game on Tuesday, and I got a game on Wednesday.
No problem.
So,
that's
yeah. I'm definitely gonna walk through that door, and like I said, man, it was real cool having you on. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and,
I appreciate you, man.
I know a guy. Thank you, man. I know a guy. He's a Hebrew teacher, and he has a camp. And he said to me about you. He was like, "Yeah, that's not a bad idea to have a weapon in the camp."
Huh? Hey, man.
So you inspired him.
Hey,
to get himself a weapon for his camp. So I'm like, all right, cool.
I make sure I make sure that like I said, the places that I roam and I go, I always make sure if something happens, man, I got to spare, I got to back up. I just started carrying my knife too. So
we got Dexter back.
There we go. All right.
Dexter's in the building.
You know what? Dexter, what do we want to start? You want to say, did you hear about the plane crashes?
The plane crashes, plural. I heard about the one on the Potomac.
Yeah.
On approach to the airport.
Yeah.
I know that's a very tight airspace, and there's a lot going on in there, but it may, it's still investigating. It may have been preventable, but I was very. I mean, as a parent, I was extra kind of. I felt an extra kind of way when I heard about that crash. Some of the young people on board the aircraft, on board the jetliner.
Yeah, it was a bunch of skaters, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like ice skating, kids doing like ice skating training, all that stuff. Yeah. That was tough. That was a tough hit. I don't know if I was lying. That was a tough hit. Yeah. And there was another plane crash.
Yeah, then
Philadelphia, a medevac crash.
That wasn't. Was that? That's right. Was that was a chopper or a plane?
A plane.
And
it was a plane because
it was a plane. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Because I
can't find the black box.
Yeah, I think I heard about that one too. They evacuating someone, and there was a child on board that aircraft too. Yeah.
I think they had just received some treatment, and then they were heading back to wherever they were heading back to, and
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's a tough one. I mean, the interesting thing is, like, is that, I mean, if you think of how many flight miles get logged overall, I mean, every year, like, flying is one of the safest things we do. One of the safest modes of travel there is, in terms of accidents per 1,000 miles traveled. But, the problem is that like, there's pretty much no, it's an extremely unforgiving mode of transportation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong, it tends to all go wrong. So
True.
yeah, it is what it is.
True.
Yeah.
Especially on that, and with everything being, well, like I said, I'm not gonna say too much about it until all the facts and everything come out, because we don't know. We're on the ground and we hear something, and then we want to run with it and say this and say that. But I'm just bringing it up because of the children that were lost on that flight. It's hard. It's kind of hard to deal with.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
that's always hard.
Yeah. So we'll deal with that once, like I say, they figure out what happened, and things of that sort. But we're about to jump into some new territory, because we got all these tariffs that everybody want to oppose all around the world on everybody, and every time you turn around now, you got Mexico saying they're going to put theirs on us, and Canada is going to put theirs on us, and I'm like, okay, things are high enough right now that
Well, some of that is just posturing, right? I mean, because the president said he was going to put tariffs on goods from a few different countries, so that this is the whole initial knives out type of thing. That's kind of how it goes, right? So we're going to tariff you if you tariff us. This is just the theater. The thing to do is to watch what actually happens. This is probably an intro to some kind of negotiation. It's just like, clearly we want something, and so president's like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then it's like, the foreign policy people are actually going to sit down in a room together and people go, okay, what do you want? What can we do? And then the war trading will start, which I'm good with. That's perfectly fine. As long as at the end of the day, there's a net benefit for the people of the United States. That's what our government needs to be focused on. I'm neither. I have no particular feeling either way about tariffs. I think they're an instrument. Talk about so-called free trade and that. I don't really care. I think that's one of those things that people who spend a lot of time in economics textbooks will talk about. Very well, free trade. Listen, trade has a purpose. The purpose is to increase the prosperity of the host nation. And if other nations prosper by that, wonderful. But that's not my concern. I'm an American citizen, so we'll see what advantages we're really trying to gain. Why we're holding negotiations in this way. There's probably something that we'd like the Canadians to either do or stop doing. So we'll see how it unfolds, but. Not right now. To me, there's probably less than meets the eye. This is just two guys getting ready to do a fencing match and they salute with their swords. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm. You got something on that, Stan?
No, like I said, man. It's kind of interesting because every time something's done. Like nowadays, or maybe for the last 25 years of my life, whenever something's done, I always think that there's something else going on based on something that they're doing. Like, it's almost like, putting the jab out there to set you up for a right hand. It's like a decoy. Okay, here, we're going to put this in your face. Okay, and this is in your face, and this is in your face, and then, bam, we're going to hit you with this. So, I don't know, man. We'll have to see, man. I just think it's a part like everything else. I just think it's a part of something else, that it's going to hit you somehow, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, certainly, look, what I've noticed over the years is that all the dirt they do in the open. I mean, I'm just being honest. It hasn't really occurred to me that the people who are really screwing us make any big deal about keeping it a secret. Since when do they need to keep it a secret? They don't need to keep it a secret.
True.
It's in the open. All the records are public records. Look, we just went through the biggest cover up and money grab, and mass poisoning of the citizens of a nation, more than one nation, that we've ever seen, right? I mean, during the whole COVID freak out, when they were basically setting up for their friends in big pharma to reap giant profits from a technology that wasn't ready for prime time. Well, did they make a secret of it? No. They didn't do anything in secret. They were like, no, this is going to happen. And, that's what we're going to do. And they did it. And Pfizer paid out $8 billion in dividends year one to their shareholders. The numbers are, it's a publicly traded company. You can just look up the numbers. I did. So yeah, I don't believe that I think conspiracies tend to be overblown. You know what I'm saying? It's like when if you're a dairy farmer, if you Reverend Tim own a dairy farm, right? Mm-hmm. And you wake up in the morning, you want a glass of milk with your breakfast, right? You ever conspire to get a glass of milk with your breakfast? No. Why not? Because you own a dairy farm. That's how that is. You don't have to conspire to do shit. That's, it's like, their friends own the media network. Their friends own, have controlling interest in giant companies, big pharma, and so on. And their friends have easy access to the halls of power in government. And so when they want to make moves, they just make them. And so I think the real thing is to understand. Yeah, certainly there are things that happen in secret, but in terms of people conspiring to do dirt, it's like, I just all the dirt is in the open. If you watch YouTube, if you watch C-SPAN long enough, you'll hear him talk about everything. You'll hear him say it. You hear the private sector say, we need the state to just pay our bills for a little bit. We need the state to just subsidize this for us.
Right. Right.
They won't say it that way. They'll say we need incentives. But that's what that means. Right. So, with the whole tariff thing, I don't think that there's any need to pretend to whatever. Again, I think Donald Trump said the thing about tariffs because he's trying to make an especially aggressive opening to a round of negotiations. And again, there is something that we want from we want China and Canada to either do or stop doing, and they're going to counter, and those we'll figure it out, and then something will happen. But yeah, that's just my thing.
Oh, they already are. Let me see. Mexico got something. China's got something. Canada has something. But I just think it's how funny it is that all of our trade partners, all three of them has a tariff on us. With everything else that we have to deal with right now that's going down. I think throwing tariffs out there should be one of the last things that we should do. I think we should go in and sit down and negotiate something before we start throwing.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that anyway. Remember, all you did was just say that we're going to put tariffs on something. That's an known thing. It's just like when you want to come out especially strong in negotiations, you make some aggressive statements, you put some aggressive rhetoric out there. Nothing's been decided yet. And by the way, just about all nations have tariffs on each other on some goods that are created between them. I mean, this is not it's not as if free trade. That's the thing. When people say free trade, it's kind of a misnomer. There's, that all trade is hampered or restricted in some way, or tax or tariff or what have you in some way, always. There's, look, here's the thing. You say, well, Canada has a tariff on us. They probably have more than one. So, it's American sugar production is subsidized, right? The American government pays American sugar producers to produce sugar, right? In other words, they artificially depress the price of sugar by spending government money. Well, that's not quite the same as a tariff, but the net effect is the same, right? If a sugar producer from another country wants to sell sugar to the United States, they have to compete with a price that's made artificially low by the fact that our government is applying down pressure on the price of domestic sugar. And sugar's not the only commodity where that's being done. So it is what it's all trading, man. That's all it is.
Right. So so like I was saying, right? It's almost a decoy, if you will, right? To push whatever it is they're doing. Like he's saying, he's coming out the gate strong because he wants to do this. So yeah, it's still not what he's doing from the gate. If he's doing this to get to that, then that's not being straightforward. That's all. Every time he makes a move, there's always something behind it.
I see what you mean, but I'm. Yeah, I see what you mean, but again, I'm not with you. I don't really expect. I don't really expect. That's what diplomacy is. That's what it is. You make a gesture, and it's a dance. That's all it is. So it's not a secret. It's just to me, there's nothing behind it. It's just that's it. That's how the dance is done. You say, well, we're sick of X, Y, Z. Okay, that means that our trade partners aren't happy. That's all.
I think. I'm thinking it's part of a bigger plan. And I
don't think it's part of a bigger plan at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just sitting here going, I hope whatever dance it is or plan it is, it's not something that's going to capitate, the poor of America. I think sometimes when they go out and they start dealing and wheeling and things of that sort, no one thinks about the poor. When it comes to all of this here, because at the end of the day, middle class, which, we really don't have a middle class anymore, but the middle class, they can survive. It's the poor people that's going to be really, really hurt if these things don't work the way that they do. Like I said, I went to the store, County Market was out in Andover, in Andover. You get 18 eggs for $11.92. Yeah. When before, that was only $7. But now it's all the way up to $11 for 18.
Gallon of milk is $9.
Yeah. So that's the part sometimes I think a lot of us forget about. I work with the poor people, so I always have to sit back and hear them say, hey, I can't even afford milk anymore because how high milk has gotten. You get golden the apples, those honey golden apples. They used to be like a $1.30 something. They're $2.15 a pound now, man. And people, it's going to get to the point where it's just going to start hurting people's pockets with all this here foolishness going on.
Well, here's the thing that I've heard before. What's the number one thing that we can do to keep the prices of things low? I mean, we'll put aside for a moment the fact that the Biden administration was printing money like it was cool. I mean, let's put that aside. So basically, we're basically creating monetary inflation by bumping up the money supply. Okay, forget about that for a second. They essentially got us, rolled us into a war in the middle of Europe, right?
Sure.
And instituted all these measures that essentially increase the price of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the problem. Because when you increase the price of energy, everything gets more expensive. Everything. Right? Okay, and again, pardon me?
Not to mention the billions they gave them.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Exactly. You printed up a bunch of money, you gave them a bunch of money, and then you made all these moves to make energy more expensive. If on the foreign market, you decided to sanction the Russians and say like, well, we don't want to buy Russian energy. We don't want to buy Russian hydrocarbons for some stupid ass reason. Yeah, and then here they're running around. They're making it more difficult to bring new energy streams online. They're instituting regressive taxes against people who drive for a living. That's what congestion taxes are. Like what's their face put here in New York. And right. So this is what I mean. They didn't hide any of this stuff. They were like, oh yeah, we're openly. Yeah, we're going to send some more weapons. We're going to send a couple billion more dollars and more weapons to Ukraine because oh yeah, we're going to put more sanctions on Russia. Well, it's like if remember, oil is a stateless commodity. The price of oil is set on the global market. So now, if you're making it harder for any producer on the global market to bring their product to market, you're making the price higher for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was no secret. They didn't conspire. They didn't do any of that shit. They said it, and they did it, and they do it in front of our faces, right? So this is what I want to see less of. It's like, something? I want to see a foreign policy that's based on restraint going forward. That in the next couple of years, when he really starts to make foreign policy moves, I hope that he's got a foreign policy team that understands restraint. That understands we can't be everything everywhere to everybody, right? And sometimes if there's something going to go down somewhere else, no, it's going to go down like that. If our people are not involved, then so be it. Let them work it out. Let them fight it out. And then energy. We have to do everything we can to depress the price of energy because all this nonsense about how we're going to power a modern industrial civilization with goddamn windmills and solar panels, that's not going to cut it, bro. Like that is obviously being driven by a bunch of giant hedge funds that have mining interests. They have lithium and so on and so forth, right? But no one with sense, no one who understands basic physics thinks that you can power civilization of this size with solar panels and windmills. It cannot happen. All that's going to happen is you're going to make energy more expensive. This happened, by the way, to Germany back when their government freaked out after the accident, the nuclear accident in Japan, in Fukushima, Japan. Germany decided that it was going to drop all nuclear and it was going to go to purely wind and solar. And all that happened after the end of that gigantic, expensive project is that Germans were paying more for electricity that was less reliable, literally for a power grid that was less reliable. So, look at the stuff. Listen, I can't find out what they're doing in the classified briefing sessions anyway. But we can look at what they are doing, and we can say, "Hey, we don't like that," and we want you to cut that out. So that's my take.
All right. Well, we'll get it. At the end of the day, we'll see how this all turn out. Like I said, it's either going to go good or it's going to go bad. So when it's all said and done, That's pretty much what we're looking at with everything. So
Yeah, you're right.
I was watching some of these protests today, and the thing that got me, and you know, they're protesting the immigration, you know, ICE and all that their type of stuff that getting these people is going to be getting kicked out of here, you know.
Are you talking about the raids? Yeah.
Huh?
You're talking
Raids.
Yeah, all the raids and everything that we're having, and just the, you know, the immigration in either way. So I was sitting there watching all of this stuff go, because we're having them here in Minnesota, and I had put out a thing saying I don't want to see any black people anywhere near these protests. This isn't our fight. We have nothing to do with this at all. You know, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and call up ICE and be like, yeah, they're down here on Lake Street and 31st. But how do you guys feel about that? About us standing back and going, this isn't our fight? Because it isn't.
All right, let me take this one, Dexter. Let me take the first part of this one. All right. All right. So when it comes to us, right? I agree with you, Rev, because our plate is pretty full already, right? We have enough issues, you know, with us that, I mean, not for nothing, we have a right to be here, period. So, you know, we built the place, we're here, that's it, we've been here, you know, so, yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't go out there, you know, on their behalf like that and be speaking for them and saying, listen, y'all shouldn't do this to these people and deport them and all of that. But me personally, man, I don't have a problem with immigrants. I don't have a problem. I really don't.
Right,
but I do have a problem. I do have a problem with immigrants that's committing crime. I do have a problem with that. Like, you know, your MS-13s and all of that, Tren de Agua and all of that. I got a problem with the gang portion of it. But just your hard-working people that's just here trying to get ahead, I don't have a problem with that. But I do have a problem with
ones that came over here legally.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But
I mean, sorry, go ahead, bro. Go on.
Go ahead, Dex. No, I'm done.
I was going to say I have a problem. I have a problem with people who come here illegally, even if they're not criminals. And let's be honest, you know, we have no reason. I have no evidence that most illegal immigrants are involved in some crime other than the mere illegal entry into the country. Now, those they are, of course, we got to get rid of them. Getting rid of them is the first priority. You definitely got to go. You never should have aimed in the first place. But in a larger sense, yeah, I mean, it's like, the problem with people coming here illegally, even if all they do, even if the only reason they come here is to work a straight job. The problem is that, again, if they're indigent, if they don't have enough of a support network, they need to rely on government assistance. That's the problem. And even if they don't need to rely on government assistance, the fact is that we are, you've acknowledged that we have problems in terms of the poor and the working class, the middle class, and so on and so forth, being squeezed by all kinds of policies, having been squeezed for years and years. And anything that depresses wages is a problem. Anything that depresses wages is a problem. And a glut in the labor market depresses wages. That's just how that is. The law of supply and demand isn't suspended because we have a particular feeling about, someone who comes from a certain place or whatever because someone has some melanin in their skin or they don't, or they talk this language or that language. And the law is supply demand is what it is. If you got too many people coming here, it's going to depress labor costs. And I have a problem with that because I come from a working class background. So I'm with you, Stanley, when it comes to, I don't have any particular animus against people from somewhere else. They're children of God just like me. Their creation is just like me. But nonetheless, someone does not have the right to make their home in my country just because they want to. No, sir. I'm sorry. And it's like, and also my other thing, and this is a personal thing for me. I don't think everyone would be like this, but it's like I feel a kind of a personal way about this because here we have our government, certain of our state governments, bending over backwards to respect rights that these people don't even have. And I can't get the government of my state to defend the rights I still have.
Right?
You feel me?
I get it. The citizen,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
left outside the cold. I got you.
Yeah,
The citizen is left outside. I get it.
Bend over backwards, and then, by the way, and I want to talk about this later at some point, but, these, when I said bending over backwards, I mean overlooking all kinds of legitimate crimes, because, I don't know, whatever, they feel sorry for the people who are here illegally. It's like, bro, again, I was born here, and I know what the Constitution says, and my own state government, trying to run wild on me for no good reason. So the sympathy well is dry. On the other hand, I'll say this, and then I'll drop and come back. If the protest is because the government is mistreating people, that's different. That's always if the government is being unjust to someone, then that's always our fight. No matter if the person is from here or somewhere else, that's always our fight. That's all of us. If they are being unjust to someone, but if they're merely saying, "Listen, you came here illegally and now you have to go back," yeah, that doesn't rise to the level of something that we need to be in the street protesting about. No, sir. So so I'm gonna drop and come back to it.
Okay. All right. We'll catch you on the backside of this here, puppy. For those who are
the caller
new,
has hung up.
For those who are new, just hanging out with us, as you know, this is usually what we do on a Sunday. Get Dexter Taylor and talk to him from prison on many topics. I mean, we don't just have one. We're usually all over the place, and that's the good part about it because you get to hear something. Maybe you'll go, "Hey, I agree with that." Maybe you'll go, I don't agree with that. And then you would jump on here and tell us why you don't agree with it. And then we can discuss it. We got Stan in the house with us tonight, with Carl on the backside of this thing. Doing Carl on the backside of this thing, doing what he always done. Half of you are in here because of Carl. So that's just what he does. So we're going to be talking to Dexter. For those who don't know who Dexter Taylor is, you can go on Carl's page, and I'm sure he probably put it out there also tonight, and it gives you pretty much a good breakdown of what went on with Dexter, how things work with Dexter, why Dexter is sitting in prison for no reason right now. And I will always put it that way. I mean, people can sit there and say, "Well, he was building firearms," and he has every right to build a firearm. I can see if he, right, Stan.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. This is a big problem. A lot of people, especially a lot of black people don't know their rights. Right? We don't know what our rights are. Not all of us, but a lot of us don't know our rights. So, it's like with Dexter, when we talking about it last week, with his case, he's saying, people are fearful when they hear, "Oh, it's a gun case. Oh man, I don't a gun. Whoa, hold on. What are you talking about?" Like that. He's designing guns. They've made it like it's such this terrible thing when it's a right of yours, and that's the problem. We don't know our rights, and we don't understand our rights. So when you don't know something or you don't understand something, it generates fear sometimes, and that's what's happening. when you talk about Dexter's case to certain people, not everybody, but certain people.
Yeah, and it's a shame that our people are not getting behind this, because we're the first people who are always, running and crying, talking about the system isn't fair. If you're talking about a case where the system isn't fair at all, so I don't see.
We're back.
Okay, I don't see. Black Lives Matter. I don't see Ben Crump. I don't see any of those ambulance chasers that's usually out there running behind, some white cop that has shot some black person, or now that they're all up in Costco and they're all up in Target messing with Target, and Target ain't really done anything. And here we are, got a black man sitting in prison right now, and you don't hear any one of them saying anything or coming in and saying, hey, why? Because it has to do with guns. And as long as it has something to do with guns, because black people don't understand guns, and the only time that we ever deal with guns is when the thugs in our neighborhood is running around shooting each other. They don't come to run to a case like this. You know what I mean?
But hold on, but the neighborhood, believe it or not, the neighborhood respects those guys. Believe it or not, right? They respect guys that's in their neighborhoods. They respect them. Like it's not. But yeah,
well,
that's what they do.
Well, maybe Dexter should have went into the community with his firearms and just shot somebody, because he would have got more. He would have got more pub out of doing it. Right. And then if he would have went and done 10, they would have threw him a party when he got out.
Yeah.
They would have threw him a party when he got out.
Listen, I won't say the neighborhood respects these guys, because I think I'll speak for where I live in Brooklyn. Like we don't respect those guys. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I live in a working class black and Latino neighborhood in Bushwick, Brooklyn. We don't respect no gangsters. No, it's like knuckleheads. In the street busting their guns for no goddamn reason. No, we don't respect that at all. Now here's what is true. What is true is that the people who are driving culture, the people who are pouring money into culture and entertainment, they absolutely respect those guys.
Right.
Which is why there's any amount of money being spent to produce this so-called music, right? Garbage. That's really glorifying a bunch of knuckleheads running around shooting up the place.
Garbage.
And too many of us, I won't say all of us, I'll say too many of us, right, are caught up in that whole that whole entertainment industrial complex, to the point where we really care a lot about what this rapper said to this dude and what happened to Diddy, because Diddy's getting set up and this and that and what have you, as opposed to paying attention to things that actually make us some damn difference. And so I'll say that if I've been an entertainer caught up in some stupid beef with some other stupid entertainer, yeah, there'd be a lot of interest in my case. There'd be a lot of interest in my case. If I've been in some shootout in a club or something like that, there'd be a lot of interest in my case. I won't say also, I'll stop well short of saying that black people don't understand guns. There's a lot of us out here. Let's not forget that the people who are out there fighting to get my case heard by more people and to get some kind of just resolution to this case, a lot of those people fighting are black folks. To be honest, okay. It's just that like the mass kind of mainstream kind of popular enthusiasm is not behind cases like mine. Black Twitter, for example,
right,
is not behind cases like mine. But here's the good news: Black Twitter is not a demographic. That's the good news. Mm-hmm. That's what I was telling these. That's what I've been telling these retarded Republicans. When as I've been talking to them and trying to get them to up their pathetic outreach game over the years, the Black Twitter is not a demographic. Black tradesmen in Greater New York, right? Black union members in Greater New York, that's the demographic. Black homeowners in such and such part of the country, right? Black business owners, you know what I'm saying? black families with two or more members, with two or more minor children. That's a demographic. So yeah, I won't go as far as to say that black folks don't care. It's like, no, the problem is that if it's black folks who've been seduced by the entertainment industrial complex, and they find themselves caring about that shit, yeah, then chances are they don't care. Also, if it's black folks who for whatever reason have decided that the Democrat Party is it, then yeah, they're not going to care. Because let's face it, the real reason why you don't see the interest, the real reason why Al Sharpton's walking through Costco, but has yet to say word one about my case, is because he knows that his bread is buttered with the Democratic Party, and so he's not going to take any position about black self-defense, right? Because he knows that's going to interfere with his bag. Let's be honest. That's the thing. It's not about understanding. It's about who's getting paid and how. It's not about who understands guns, who doesn't understand guns. It's
I don't think.
No.
Wait a minute.
Al Sharpton gets paid because he's backing the Democrats' agenda, and
Right.
so he can't afford. He literally cannot afford. Okay, to take up positive interest in any case involving the Second Amendment right, black self-defense, anything like that, because that's going to break his rights bowl. That's what it is.
I don't think that we have. I don't think we have bombarded Al Sharpton with this situation. I think what we need to do tonight. Al Sharpton has a Twitter. I think he has a Twitter. If not, he has a. He has an email at what is it, MSNBC or somewhere like that. So what I'm
email Al Sharpton.
So what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask each and every one of you. You don't have to make a long email and all this here type of stuff. All you have to do is say free Dexter Taylor and send him an email. And if he has a Twitter, if somebody knows his Twitter, please send that Twitter to my page, and then we'll all tweet him saying free Dexter Taylor. So we'll let Al know. Go ahead.
I mean, look, people can look. Listen. Everyone's grown folks out here. Y'all can do what you want. I don't see why you'd waste. I mean, I don't see why you'd waste precious time reaching out to Al Sharpton. I don't see why. I mean, in other words, if there's something we need to prove by reaching out to him and getting no love, is there something we need to prove, or do we have? Do we have other fish to fry?
No, we do.
I don't mean to be women. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like I am very sensitive to wasted time right now.
Right? No.
Given where I've been, I'm very sensitive to wasted time. Now, like no. Wait a minute. All these okie doke, and I'm not mad at you, Rep, and I'm just venting on that.
No, I understand. Go for it.
Ass Negroes.
Go for
all these okie doke ass Negroes on the payroll.
Yeah.
All these okie doke Negroes on the payroll. Been on the payroll, huh?
Yeah.
Don't tell me they don't know about this case. They're supposed to know. That's their job. I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, I didn't know. No, it's your job to know. It's your job to know. Years ago during the Great Recession, I went to taxi school. I couldn't get any work in my industry, so I went to taxi school, got my paperwork together, got my license together, and started driving yellow cabs in New York. I was driving for a firm called Gotham Yellow. They had a garage up in Flushing. One morning, I'm there like it's like what 4:30. We're on stand up waiting to get our cabs and shit like that. There's one guy's in there. He'd been in an accident in his last shift, and he's in there. He's talking to the guy, and he's like, well, what happened? He's like, well, I didn't see the guy coming across the intersection. And the other guy told him, listen, you're supposed to see him, Papi. You're supposed to see him. That's it. It's your job. Yeah? But no, Al Sharpton's busy. He's busy. He's doing other things. And listen, granted, I don't look, how the man gets a paycheck, all good. Okay? But listen, I was there. I was outside in the summer of 2020 when all these Democrats were running around trying to bail people out, for throwing bricks, for setting fire to cars, for burning down stores, huh?
Mm-hmm.
For making it impossible for black folks to earn their living in a place where they live. They were hot to get them out of jail.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. And when it came to me, nothing. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. They get to decide where to put their efforts and where, no problem. But it's like you have to pardon me if I view reaching out to those people now as anything but a waste of time. It's a waste of time because if they don't know, it's because they don't want to know. And by the way, I said the same thing about white fake ass conservatives like Ben Shapiro and them. Okay? If they're not talking about this, it's because they don't want to know. Just like when Ben Shapiro went to Philadelphia, calling himself doing some investigative journalism about people falling out on fentanyl in the street. He didn't go to see Monture in a solutionary center. Monture, who was giving people free firearms instruction and civics listening, he didn't go see him. Why? Because he doesn't want to. Don't tell me he didn't know. He's got a staff. He's got researchers. He didn't want to know. And it's the same reason when they come, Stanley, you know this, when they come to our neighborhoods, they always find the most ignorant people to talk to. They walk right past the brother who looks like he actually knows what the fuck is going on, and they go to the brother in his shower slipper and curlers outside. Shower slipper and shower slippers and a bonnet. What happened here, sir?
Yeah, that's what they
Hey, listen.
Yeah, the news does that all the time.
They do that all the time.
Yes, sir.
You know that.
Yes, sir. You know?
Never have any teeth. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You walk right past the brother carrying his briefcase to talk to him.
And
So that tells me what's on your mind. You see what I'm saying?
I know that for a fact.
Yes,
I was
sir.
in a heat wave one time, and I was going into a little little Arab store, and I was getting me a water, and one of the News 12 Brooklyn chicks was in there. She's on CBS News now. I think it was I forget her name, but she was in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So there were tons of people coming in there, people working, and it was hot, and people in there getting water and hanging out trying to get the AC before they get back on the street. And she was standing there with her mic, and her cameraman was outside posted up, and she was looking. So I left. I made my purchase, and I went on about my business. I get home that night. I turned on News 12 Brooklyn. Oh, Brooklyn Nights, the heat is so crazy. Let's go to Jessica so-and-so. She was out in Brooklyn today, and she's going to cover this heat wave for us. So they go to her, and she says, "Oh, thank you, so-and-so. I was talking to some people in the neighborhood," and then you know how they flash to the person they talk to in the neighborhood, and it's always this guy. "Oh man, it was so hot. It was crazy. It was like it was just so hot. Teeth missing. Eyes big. You know what I'm saying? You could tell this dude he's been on drugs for some years, and that's what they do. So, Dex, man, this is good stuff, man. Listen, if the very mention of this guy's name burns you up, then you say that. That's good. You don't have to hide that.
You don't have to hide.
You don't want to waste no. You don't want to waste no time with a situation and say that like you just did, and we just keep it moving. It's not a big deal because you the one that's in the can, and we get that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. So it's like you don't want to waste a second of your precious life with a clown. I get that. I understand.
There you go. Hold on one second. Y'all know I always gotta pause for a second here to let everybody know which hat I have on for tonight. I have the red I Stand with Dexter Taylor hat on. Sig Soto is the guy who has these hats. I do believe Carl always put this out to where you can purchase this very hat. Like I said, these are not cheap hats, so don't sit there and act like you're gonna get one of those hats that you see somewhere else. You can get it in red. I got this one is red, and I got my black one also. Tonight I decided to wear this one. There's also hoodies that Carl has that they're making and everything. Like I said, I've got to get me a hoodie. I'm gonna try to get it next week so it can be here for the next time that we talk to Dexter, so I can show you all that hoodie with I Stand with Dexter Taylor. And a lot of this money goes to help Dexter and his case and the things that we do. So please, ma'am and sir, it'll be awesome for everybody tonight to just go ahead and order your hat. And don't say that women don't wear hats. My wife wears hats. She's got one. She has a little her little ponytail coming out of the back of it. She looks cute in it, you know. And women can look cute in a red or black hat. Men, you can take when you go golfing or whatever you're doing, get one of these here. So when people ask you what is that about, you can tell them about Dexter Taylor. This is how we get the word out, people. This is how we get people talking. This is how we get people to understand what we're trying to do here and to get this man out of prison. But the other thing that I was going to talk to you guys about, we talked about the immigrants, right? How they're out protesting. I don't know if you saw that, Dexter, at all. Have you seen any protests? But here's the thing that gets me about it, that what I was thinking about today. This was the second part of when we was talking about the immigrants and them getting upset that ICE is about to start dragging some people out of here. Is here they are in America. Think about this for a second. Here they are in America protesting in the streets of America, waving the flag of the country that they fled. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make that make sense to me. I need one of you to make that make sense to me. You fled this country. You do everything you can do to get into America, a land of the home of the free and the brave. But when you out in the streets protesting, here you are flying your flag.
Right. If this was such a great situation, why are you here? I got you. That's, I guess, you would just chalk that up as to people, having pride about where they're coming from.
Then they need to stay over there. If it's all about pride, but you're going to come to America and you're going to fly your flag, and if it's about being, then stay where your ass is at and fix your own damn country up. We don't need you over here. As we say down south, we don't need you here. No, man. Go on about your business, like my grandfather always say. Go on about your business, boy. We don't need you here. But you fly your flag in our country, one that you shouldn't be in. Because more than 99.9% of the time is you got here illegal anyway. And now you want to protest and fly your flag. I sit here and go, you know what? I don't know why the border czar ICE dude, they should have ICE just standing on the corner, rounding them up. Period, point blank. That's just my 2 cents. Hold on 1 second here. Did Dexter leave us?
He might have got cut off or something. I don't know.
I think he did.
Yeah, I'm not showing them on the line right now. I don't know. I don't know if the call. Well, no, he's still here. It's showing them still here.
Okay.
He must have.
I don't know if he cut out or what, but it's still showing that he's here.
Like showing that the line is live. I got you. But
hey, Dexter, if you can hear us, cancel the call and just call me back.
Every now and then, like I say, he's literally, like I said, we're not. We got to make sure everybody understand. He's calling from prison. He's in prison. He's behind walls. He's behind a cell, a big door that goes boom and then it goes click click. He is actually in prison right now, and we're doing everything that we possibly can do to get the word out to anybody at any point in time. And Dexter was just talking about your Al Sharptons, those type people that steal for the Democratic Party. That, you know, right now, like we said, he's walking around in Costco, instead of looking at a situation that we have now. He has a TV show that he could easily say Dexter's name, right? But he can't do that because it's the Democrats who actually put this man behind bars. The Democrats have had a history of always denying black people their rights to own a firearm, right? So let us, right? You understand what I'm saying, Stan?
Yeah, I follow.
But they've always had that history as far back as we go to the time that we were freed. The Dixiecrats made sure that we didn't have a right to protect ourselves against the Ku Klux Klan when the Democratic Party was riding around with sheets on their heads, hanging our people. We didn't have a right to protect ourselves. Then when we did have the right to protect it, we did decide to start protecting ourselves. They start coming up with bills to take the firearms out of our hands. Then they started deciding to go into black churches and things of that sort, telling black people that they shouldn't own firearms. It's okay, we'll take care of you, and they don't take care of us. But the Democratic Party has had a history of doing everything they possibly can to remove firearms and make sure black people did not have firearms. This situation with Dexter Taylor is one of those situations that we can definitely sit here and say that they decided to take a black man and make an example out of him. It basically the Democrats went back to doing what they did before when they would take a black man, tie him to the tree, and whip him to the second of his life just to make a point to all the other black people. That's what they did with Dexter Taylor. They put Dexter to the tree. So any other black person who decided to go out and do what Dexter did, then we know that we're going to be in trouble. Period, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like you said, there's definite uneasiness that comes when you speak about it to people. They be like, whoa, hold on, so people are scared by it. And like Dexter just said, if it's the man's job to know, then he could definitely come along and say, listen, X, Y, and Z, but he doesn't want to do that because of his relationships with people that put him where he is. As that guy, I forget his name, but he's always talking about how, when people are in bed with people, they don't want to mess that up. So, I believe wholeheartedly that it's not going to be up to them. I believe in the Most High, and I believe that the Most High is going to get Dexter out early. That's what I believe. And something's going to give. You know what I'm saying? As long as you putting in the work and you trying and you doing every little thing you can, something's going to give. But I get where Dexter's coming from. He's just saying, okay, look, man, this guy should know about the case. Mm-hmm. They know about every other case. Mm-hmm. Why they don't know about mine? Where they put the story on CBS News where over 500,000 people watched the replay on YouTube, and God knows how many people watched it when they aired it live.
Yep.
So people are made uncomfortable. They don't want to deal with comfortable issues issues that make them uncomfortable, and that's just how it is. So people are like that, man. People are scared, man. They don't want to ruin what they work to get. So that's what that is, and that's what we're all facing as we try to help him, move forward. And yeah, there's going to be frustration, there's going to be anger, and all of that. But through all of that, you gotta stay in the fight. You gotta keep fighting, right? I used to box many years ago, And my trainer used to tell me, listen, man, okay, you had a bad round. All right, yeah, you got beat up that round. So that's what we're going to do this round. But you keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? You know, you change your strategy. You keep fighting till you get to the end of the fight. And that's how it goes, you know?
Well, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting, you know, regardless of who decides to jump on the boat and help us row, with that situation. So my mindset is as many people as we can, because I'm one of those, because I like a good protest, right? That's one thing everybody know about me. Back in the day, man, I was leading protests like you wouldn't believe. And I know that when you get enough people to bug somebody, it bugs them. It gets up their crawl, and it just bugs them to all get up. My mindset is for a protest vote. I mean, a protest call going out to Al Sharpton.
All right, we got Dexter back.
Oh, he's back. Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right, dude. All right, we got you back. Cool beans. Beans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. Okie girls on the payroll, man. That's what these cats are, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And they've been there for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so I got a question. Okay, so all right, so if the understanding is, or we know that, okay, this dude is on this payroll to do X, Y, and Z, how we bypass these type of people,
Gatekeepers,
to get to somebody that can make something real happen?
The answer is that's a very, very good question. I hope everyone heard that. The answer is, if we know there's people out there who are on the payroll and who don't care about the things we care about, how do we bypass them? The answer is you just bypass them. The answer is you just don't factor them into your calculations. Look, when I started doing publicity about my case, when I went public, right, because I got raided in April of 2020. What was that? 2021. Yeah, that sounds right. So no, or 22. No, I forget. Anyway, I think it may have been 22. For a while, we were just working quietly, me and my legal team, and I maintained my kind of secrecy. I was doing online politics as Carbon Mike. Since like 2015 or thereabouts, and I didn't change anything until it got to a certain point, and I talked to my lawyer, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, I think you might want to think about going public. No problems." And I went public. Right away, I reached out to people who I knew would be on side. I didn't reach out to the usual suspects as far as Black Democrat aligned activists. I reached out to people like Sonny Johnson. In fact, I didn't even have to do very much reaching. I just mentioned it. And Sonny Johnson was like, "Come on my radio show." She was like, "I have a radio show on Saturdays, Sirius XM Patriot. Come on my show." And I did. I talked to Chris Cooper from National Gun Rights. He was like, "Yeah, let's do an interview. I'm going to record an interview with you." And they made me a lifetime. By the way, NAGR, National Association for Gun Rights, made me a lifetime member after I got indicted. That's how real they are.
Wait, you're a lifetime.
People like Rick Barrett.
Did you just say you're a lifetime member?
Yeah, they made me a lifetime member after I got indicted. Once I talked to Chris Cooper about my case, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to do a show. We're going to record a thing." I went on and recorded an interview with him, and I turned around and it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a lifetime member. They just made me a lifetime member."
Oh,
so yeah. And Rick Barrett, the armed Catholic, Beaver Fry, and all these people. So I just didn't waste my time with people who I knew weren't going to have an interest. That's all. And by the way, I also didn't reach out. I also didn't waste any time. Just in case someone thinks I'm I'm only focusing on one political party. I don't waste no time trying to talk to Candace Owens either, or Larry Elder, any of them. I need that be a waste of my damn time too. You know what I'm saying? So that's the answer. Is don't bother trying to go past to work around someone who you don't have to work around. Just go direct. We know what the objective is. The objective, well, we have, we're on a kind of like a couple of parallel tracks. We're of course focusing on our appeal, right? We have to go through the state system and so on and so my legal team is working on that. On the political side, we're trying to get as many people as possible paying attention, and we're also trying to get in the halls of power to the extent possible, get the White House to employ the DOJ to start taking a hard look at this thing as a civil rights violation, because that is what it is. It is a civil rights violation. Mm-hmm. And everybody would understand it was a civil rights violation if they decided to do white and colored water fountains at the library all over again. They'd understand that immediately. Right. But because this is a matter of black self-defense, people's understanding gets blurry for some reason. Okay, so that's how it's like. It's not even a matter of.
Well, then we'll start
going around Al Sharpton. He's just not part of the picture.
Well, we'll start painting it that way. You're right when you say that, Dexter. This is a civil rights situation.
Yeah, that's it. And so this is the thing. If Stanley, you're making your question kind of implies a much deeper and much more profound point. Who is on our side? Well, what does it mean to be on our side? And
it just burns me up, man. It just burns me up. When somebody is in a position of supposed to be service, right? You're supposed to serve people. And, that it just, what I don't even want to. It just annoys me, man. I'm doing. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, look. You had an experience when we first got back in contact, right? You talked to your buddy Tom. Now, I know just from knowing your character, I know that you are not in the habit of presuming on your friendship and asking him to use his power as a government employee to do every little thing or to do. I know you don't do that. So I thought it was very interesting that when you talked to him, he didn't even fall back and say, "Well, hang on a second. You're not in the habit of asking me to go and to go to my office and do something like that. What's going on here? Tell me all the information you have." He could have said that. He didn't have to make a decision, right? Yeah. He could have said, "Send me everything you have and let's talk about it."
Yeah. So Dex, listen, it gets even better. When I first brought it up to him, I said, "Listen, I was home. My way back popped into my mind. I looked up and I come to find out he's locked up for a ghost gun thing, blah, 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 blah." Ran it all down. I said, "Yo, listen, he's just like us. He's from the inner city. He went to college. He got his degrees, working."
I didn't get my degree, but go on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we all are in the same, kind of the same beginning, if you will, right? So
yes, sir.
He says, "Yo, Stan, listen, why don't you write your man and see if he'd even want the help?" I said, "Okay, bet, I'll do that." So when I first looked you up, you was in Elmira. So I sent you a kite to Elmira, right? I sent you a kite to Elmira. Mm-hmm. But I didn't hear nothing back. I was like, oh, I guess he didn't want the help. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right, well, maybe he got his own plan. And then something came up where I found out you wasn't even in Elmira no more. They had moved you to Coxsackie. I was like, oh, that's why he maybe didn't write back. So boom, I got on it again. I sent it to you. Boom, got it out on its way. When you hit me back, when you called me, I him and like maybe a day or two later, I told him, I said, yeah, my man back, blah 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 blah. And then from that point on, he was like, "Oh, Stan, hold up, slow down, you know, hold down." So that kind of thing. To now, if we go into today, now I already know it. Now I'm straight annoying him when I send like the updates, like the little Donald Trump Jr. segment and the segment from Salcedo. When I send them these things, you know, and we were talking about Mayor Adams. Let me just say this right quick. We were talking about Mayor Adams in the beginning, and I said, man, there's a lot of charges, man. I hope, you know, I don't know how that's going to go, man, but he got a lot of charges. So he was like, well, we don't want to do this and that or other. So I hit him the other day. I said, yo, well, it looks like now that he may get out of this thing because, you know, his lawyers are talking with the people, blah, 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 blah. He says to me, he goes, yeah, well, we'll see, but I'm too busy to care about that. So I'm like, what are you playing now? So now he's so busy, he doesn't have time to teeth. Like he's that busy. He can't even brush his teeth now because he doesn't want me to mention you. You know what I'm saying? It's a fear that he doesn't want me to say anything to you. And I'm like, damn, man, okay, you was on my podcast. You was on episode 11. We talked a lot, anything and all that. Now, you know, so like you say, people get scared, man, and they don't want to do things. That's all right. So keep it moving. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like this the whole that whole I'm busy thing is very funny. You know, it's like, man, come on, you ain't the president. Calm down. You Bradley. You know, relax.
Right.
But this is this is the thing. It's like this is what happens. I mean, and it can happen to any government. You know, it's like I wouldn't imply that this is some kind of thing that only happens in governments run by Democrats. It's a fundamental, you know, baked-in defect because human beings are human beings. You know, but yeah, you know, I think people can get to a point where they're so caught up in the mechanism that they forget the purpose. You know, they're so caught up in the instrument that they forget the actual purpose. And government is just an instrument. The law is just an instrument. The purpose is justice. The purpose is justice. And all instruments are imperfect. All instruments fall short because in the hands of human beings, of course they're going to fall short because human beings fall short. Because out of the crooked timber of man, no straight thing was ever made. No problem. No problem. But again, this is the thing about worshiping the wrong thing, about following the wrong thing, about worshiping false gods. You know, you have to be careful about that because because you worship the wrong thing, it's going to eat you alive. You will not remember who you are or why you're here. You're like, oh, well, the party. The party is, the party is a tool.
Right.
You know? So
that speaks more to the kind of man you are, where you like that. If you could get at a gig and they can turn your head around on those levels, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yes, it is.
I done worked. I done been in places, and I see people. I've seen people that think black folks that get on these gigs and they think they're European and all of that. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm gonna be who I am, and if you don't dig me, good for you. That's fine. But I'm not. But the way I am, man, I can't do that, man. I just can't do it, man. It's not in me to do that, man. I can't be that way.
No. Nah. But I mean, you know, it's again, you know, this is why, you know, in the scriptures, I know we're both believing men. The scriptures make such a big deal out of getting these fundamental questions right. You know what I'm saying? Of putting first things first, and second things second. Of not trying to worship two masters. Of understanding, you know what I'm saying? Of not falling prey to pride. You know, the king, the killer of all sins. You know, this is why. This is why, because the hazards are all around us. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all want, secure job security and prosperity, and you know what I'm saying, to leave a little something for our kids and whatever, and maybe to enjoy some prominence in our fields and to get the recognition we think we deserve. We all want that, you know. The question is the wanting that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's when you start giving up essentials. Yeah. That. It's when you start giving up the basics for that, or to keep that, or to keep your chance of getting that. That's when it's a real problem. Yeah. You know. So yeah, and it's true of people who work in all kinds of fields of government, politics, activists, this, that, whatever, business. It's just that right now, because our particular fight is with a government that is out of control, that we notice it with people who we know who are political actors or who are activists or so on and so forth. And this is I've been thinking a lot about this because it really seems to me that what we're seeing, it's not just a thing of like someone got they ran wild on someone who they didn't have to run wild on. In my case, right? It's like, well, they whatever, and they ran down and decided to get me up. It's more than that. It has to be more than that, right? It's that this is they have to play this all the way. And the reason they have to play this all the way is because the whole trumped up grounds on which I was charged and tried and imprisoned are part of a basic mechanism of government lying. Mm-hmm. It's a basic tool that this government is using to lie to people about their unwillingness to do their job, to lie to people about their failure to do their job. Mm-hmm. I talked to a lot of people about this. A lot of people come at me with it was just a permit. Why don't you just get a permit? Why didn't you just get a permit? What's the big deal? I don't say, okay, well, let's go with that for a second. If it's just a permit, right? If it's just a piece of paper, then here's the question. Why doesn't the government of New York treat it like it's just a piece of paper? You ever thought about that? Mm-hmm. In other words, if this is so trivial, it's always just a piece of paper, you're cutting that piece of paper, then why didn't they, after they raided my house, they could have said, listen, Mr. Taylor, we're sorry, we had to, we didn't know who you were, right? And we didn't know if you were getting ready to wild out and do this, so we had to go in hard with ESU. We get it. Okay, we see now you have no criminal record. We see that you this and that and this and you've been a lifelong New Yorker and you've lived in Brooklyn for 30-some odd years. And you've been paying taxes and you're a family man. Mm-hmm. Huh? They could have said all that. They could have said, listen, we get it. Sorry. Just do us a favor. Go down, write the paperwork, pop up at the precinct, get your thing up, and you'll be good to go. Thank you. Again, sorry for the misunderstanding, but you know how it is sometimes, but no harm, no foul. They could have said that it was just a piece of paper. Right. Mm-hmm. It's not just a piece of paper.
No.
We're looking at a government that has given up on actually clearing violent crimes in our streets. Mm-hmm. And what they've done instead now is they created a whole new category of felonies, it's paper felonies. If you want to clear an actual murder, robbery homicide has to be on its game. Robbery homicide has to be on point. Okay, they got to have their ad hoc intelligence networks. They got to know how to canvass witnesses. They got to know how to work the street. They got to know how to do all that. Okay, but if you just want to clear a paperwork felony, just go in the guy's pockets. Oh, you don't have this piece. Okay, yep, we'll lock him up. That's why we can see with our eyes, right? That a bunch of illegal migrants can beat on a cop on camera and be in the wind. And meanwhile, when I get arrested, my bail is almost $250,000. My bail is almost $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, because it's not just a piece of paper. They specifically said that owning a firearm is a violent felony. Why did they say that? Why did they make that part of the law? So they can lie about how quickly they're clearing violent felonies. They go, oh yeah, we cleared 67 violent felonies last quarter. And then you come up, you mean you found 67 guns? Not being used, but just having it as a violent crime.
That's your government. That's your government for you, gentlemen. That's your government,
right? Come on, sorry. No, yeah. So this is what people need to realize is that they get caught up in this thing of, it's just a piece of paper. It's just not just a piece of paper. If they thought it was just a piece of paper, they would treat it like it was just a piece of paper. They would treat it like it was a mere formality. It's like people who tell me this, that logic has to work both ways. If it's just a detail, then when all the smoke clears, the government should have treated it like it. They would have treated it like a detail. They're like, this guy's not a flight risk. What are we selling? What are we setting $200,000 bail for? And when I was convicted of this paperwork felony, right? If they were keeping it real, they would have said, well, of course you can get bail. We know you're not dangerous. It was just a paperwork thing.
Yeah.
But no, they were like, listen, we can't. The moment I got the verdict, they were like, well, you got to go to Rikers. We can't have you walking around. Okay, so they don't think it's just a piece of paper.
That's right.
So I like all my friends who were maybe not necessarily on the two-way side. I don't expect them to change their minds, but stop saying that bullshit.
They can't.
Huh?
They can't.
Stop saying it because it's a lie.
Can't. But you they can't do that, Dex. They can't stop doing that.
Yeah, no. You mean no. You mean they won't?
They won't. There you go.
Which is
there
fine,
you go.
So let's call it what it is. But they won't. Right? Exactly. It's just a permit. All you had to do was this. Come on. It's like the government has given up.
Yeah.
If we think about as black folks, I just want to say this. We should be, irrespective of political party, because you know me, I don't simp for any political party. I'm a homeless conservative, and everyone who's heard me online knows I'll go after any party, anytime, anywhere. I don't give a shit. Okay, but listen. We should feel a kind of way just about the indecency of a government that can see people being harmed in the streets by armed criminals and turn around and say the problem is these guns. It's like, so it come like all the people who actually got shot or got raped or got robbed or got their cribs invaded. It's like none of that exists. It just, there are these objects around. There are these objects, and they don't have the right paperwork connected to them, and that's a huge problem. Excuse me, no. The problem is that our people are being harmed. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. The problem isn't people not carrying the right piece of paper. The problem is our people are being harmed in the streets. Huh? Mm-hmm. Our kids can't walk to school. Don't tell me that, we have a problem with ghost guns. Tell me that someone got shot. And by the way, that's how they played in the suburbs. To be honest, okay? Listen, someone gets raped or robbed in the suburbs, right? Them cops are there like, hey, there's a robbery we need to go and put hands on a person who did a thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow.
In the city with us, no, they're like, yeah, we picked up this many objects last month. And some of us are gonna turn around and nod our heads like that's good, like this, like they're doing their job. Mm-hmm. So forgetting about the Second Amendment and all that for a second, just the sheer indecency of a government that can't even bear witness when its own citizens are being hurt in the street, and they're gonna turn around and make up some fake ass paperwork felony, yeah, so they can make their numbers look right.
Because they got nothing else to do, bro.
Yeah, they got nothing else to do. Listen, they got plenty else. They got plenty else to do. Wait, they got plenty else to do.
And they want to keep us in fear.
To put the work in.
Yeah, and they want to keep us in fear.
They want to keep us in fear. Look, they do have a lot of other stuff to do, but all that requires work. All that takes work. You see, if you want to run down on me, it's easy, bro. If cop want to run down on me, no problem. They're going to come up to my house. I'm going to be like, yes, sir, no, sir, this, whatever, and they're going to lock me up. No problem. No problem. Huh? But if you want to run down on the cats who were actually shooting up the place, you got to work.
Yeah.
So, that's my big thing. When people come with this permit thing, it's like I try to be sympathetic to people. I know not everyone is like me on the Second Amendment. Granted. But I'm like, don't bullshit me.
Right.
Don't bullshit me.
If
Come on now.
So you are what they call low hanging fruit. That's all.
There you go. That's it right there.
Exactly.
That's it right there.
That's exactly right. They're like, let's get this right here. That's it. Exactly. That's it.
Because they know. Well, they know that you got to spend a lot of money to protect yourself. They know that.
Correct.
They knew that.
Correct.
So they figure,
Correct.
okay, let's go after him instead of going after somebody who's actually raking the system. I mean, just literally doing that.
Yep.
So it is, like I said, sometimes it is what it is. But we can't sit back.
Yes,
we can't sit back. And this is why I argue this, and this is why I say when people, oh well, he did the, I don't. That's not the point. The point is the man had a right to assemble his firearms. The man had a right that he did not go in back alleys buying parts with cash. He used his own damn credit card because he realized what he was doing was right. That's the part that when I see people say that, I get upset. I get just as mad as Dexter got tonight. When I see people saying that, and that's when I sit there and go, this fool has no clue what they're talking about. You're running behind a crooked government that did this to this man, and you see it. I mean, it's happening in your face, and then you want to sit here and hit us with a bunch of anyway. I don't want to get started.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it is, man. It's like, and again, this is what I said near the beginning of this the stream, right? You know, they're not making a secret of it. They're not making a secret of it.
No,
they're like, no, it's you know, this supposed paperwork detail. And by the way, let me say this, because listen, I was at my trial. I was actually there. I was actually there in the courtroom. Okay, I was there with my lawyer. Cross-examined the guy from the NYPD permitting department. I was there, on the day. I was there when he said, "Well, okay, sir, what's your job in the permitting department in the handgun licensing or whatever? What's your? Oh, I own the record. Okay, how many people have applied for permits in 2024? I don't know. What? What did you say? Well, the question is irrelevant. Ho, excuse me, sir. I'm cross-examining you. I'll decide if the question is irrelevant. How many people applied for permits? I don't know. Okay, what about 2023? I don't know. What's your recheck rate? I don't know. Why don't you know? Objection is from the judge now. The judge said objection. That's how that went down. Okay? They know it's a joke. They know it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's a joke. Come on. You're telling me, why didn't you just... You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This is the thing. It's like I'm not mad at that government's lie. That's what governments do. I'm mad when my fellow citizens who should know better pick that shit up and wave it around like it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a kind of way about that.
As you should.
You have 1 minute left.
Hey, Dex,
Yes, sir.
that's the 1 minute. You want
The 1 minute? Yeah.
can you do one more and then we'll because I got
Absolutely.
a hard 10 o'clock tonight. So if we can
Absolutely.
get
I'm
you
gonna drop
one more
and come
time.
back.
Okay, that'll work,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. All
Appreciate
right.
you.
See you, sir.
Appreciate you.
The caller has hung up.
All right, so we'll let Dexter do what he does on his end, so he can come back and we'll do one more segment, and then go from there. Hey Stan, did you have something that you want to talk about tonight, or
No, I just wanted to, like I said, man, the anger, the frustration. I'm glad he's showing it. Don't hold that in. Let that out. Get that out your system. And I just want to do what I can to help continue the thing forward, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
sure?
it's wrong. And what they didn't do, man, they did not look at the man. They didn't look at him as a person. They said, "Oh, he has these. Okay, put him in jail." Whoa, hold up, dude. What are you talking about? This guy is designing prototypes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
This is what he does. He's an engineer, man. They create things. This is what he does. He wants to work in that industry. Y'all took him and was like, "Oh no, this guy's a criminal." Threw the book at him and then threw him in the can for a decade
Sure.
because he refused your plea deal, right? And that's a good thing he did that, because when you take a plea, then that's not always the case. I know people plead sometimes because they just want to get something over with. But Dexter said, "Nah, I'm not taking your plea. You can keep your plea. I'm going to take it to trial." He lost. Okay, so be it. But, sometimes taking that plea kind of negates any foot you have to stand on down the road.
Yeah.
Like, well, if he wasn't guilty, then why did he take a plea? If he wasn't guilty, why did he take the plea? See, that's easy for people to say when they not in them situations. You know what I'm saying? When they not in them courtrooms and they not in them the waiting cells and all of that. It's easy to say, okay, well, he took the plea. He must have done something, and that's how people think.
Well,
So,
plus, if you think, Stan, either way, they were going to get him, right? They were going to look for a reason. They were out hell bent to lock this man up, whether from a plea deal or if they was take him to court and railroad him like they did. They could have easily said, "You know what? Let's look at your priors. Let's look and see if you've done something, that warrants us locking you up for that long." They didn't do that, right?
Dexter told me they had his cell phone record, which meant if he was, all right, so conspiracy is the agreement to do a crime, right? So if they had his phone records would indicate, if he was trying to sell them or whatever it was. Y'all took his phone records. Y'all can listen to it. You can get his phone back. You can get his call, and you can see if he was texting anybody in regard to trying to profit off the firearms. So he wasn't doing that. So there was no conspiracy to commit a crime here. Right. So if there's no conspiracy to commit a crime, what's the problem here? He can do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they ignore that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt you, brother. By the way, they also ignored the fact that I was actually working on weapons science. They ignored no one wants to talk about and I don't often get to talk about it.
I said that. I said you were thinking prototype.
Yeah, it's like I developed cyclic energy flow. It's a theoretical framework for function tuning gas operated semi-automatic weapons. I developed and in fact I partially prototyped something called OSIRIS, Open Shot Registration System. Okay? I was designing something called Drift 360, an enhanced dry fire training suite, okay, to help police departments and the military get more bang out of the training budget. I was working on something called EMBER, electronic measurement of barrel resonance, to help people like sport shooters and military sniper teams tune their weapons better. No one want to talk about that.
Yo, dude.
I was looking to build my second career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I realize.
And it's like, the funny thing is people, you hear all these Democrats, when it's time to spend public money, meaning our money, it was all, STEM, it's very important, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, here's someone who was working in STEM. Here's someone who has a 30-some-odd-year career in the software industry. You can go look up my code, bro. You can go look it up. It's open. It's like I have a ton of open source code under my belt. You can look it up. You can look up the training videos I made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not a secret. It's still out there. It's on my link tree. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't want to hear all that. They don't want to hear all that.
Well, the thing, like I said, the
paperwork violation.
Right. The thing that gets me about this whole thing is the way they're treating you. Like you're dangerous. You understand what I'm saying? That's right. The part. That's the part that that pisses me off. Going, this man ain't never hurt anybody in his life. I mean, like I said, they never brought up the point of going, well, let's look at his priors. Let's see if he's done anything. They're going to treat you like I said, somebody who has literally jumped over the gate, jumped over the fence, came here legally, and no, they wouldn't treat you like that. Then you wouldn't be. Then you wouldn't be
because they were getting.
You wouldn't be in prison right now. They're gonna treat you. They're gonna it's the Democratic Party. Like I was saying earlier tonight.
Right.
The Democrats have always looked for a reason to make sure that the black man did not have a firearm or couldn't use a firearm, didn't own a firearm. So just like like we said, we gotta take this Negro right here and put him up on the tree and beat him like we used to, because he's getting out of hand.
That's right.
He's too smart.
That's right.
That's what scared him. You know that as well as I do, brother. You know the Democrats like them dumb. Just like you said, they'll go in the middle of the street. They'll let all of these here brothers with briefcases and books and everything walk by them, and they'll find the very one who's gonna act a fool for them. That's the one they're gonna get. But Dexter was a little too smart, right? They don't want smart brothers out here doing what you was doing, Dex. So we know why you're in there. We know what's up, man. We know what's up.
Yeah. I mean, even Dana Lash was saying it. I mean, that's the funny thing is I didn't even say, she was like, yeah, it's a black man up in here.
Yeah.
Shout out to my sister Dana Lash, and her husband Chris. Yeah, it's like yeah. So I'm just like, I wish people, I'm not trying to ask everyone to be a Second Amendment advocate like me or to be so, whatever. Okay, that's my personal thing, whatever that's, and I'm a big, firearms enthusiast, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Not everyone's going to be one. That's okay. I just like, again, I feel the kind of way when people, when the government lies to us, and again, certain of us take up those lies and wave them around like the flag of truth. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You should know better. But again, same people who are going to tell us about white supremacy, same people who are going to tell me about how the murderous white supremacists, same people who say, well, the cops, the cops do this and that is racist cops, this is racist cops. Okay, but you think it's acceptable for me to have to ask these same racist cops for permission to exercise my rights inside my house? That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
You hit it. It was his American Express.
American Express, so-called American Express. Yes, sir. So they canceled my account. They canceled my account shortly after I got indicted, not convicted, just indicted. So you think about that for a second. American Express said, well, yeah, this like they don't care about rights or anything like that. They don't even care about due process of law, because all that happened, I was accused of something.
This is what I don't understand, though. You use your own card given to you on the strength of your credit worthiness and your credit score.
Correct.
And you bought everything legally. Why?
Directly to my house. Right.
Why were they at the trial? I don't understand that part. Well,
Right. Wow.
now did the company, did y'all get back all the profit for the merchandise that he bought from them? Bought from them? Did y'all take that much back
There you
from
go.
them?
There you go. Right?
Right?
Yeah, they
Right.
certainly.
They didn't lose those cents, right?
Mhm.
The salesman that sold you the stuff, he made his commission. No, he got his commission off of it. So what are you talking about here? I bought everything legal beagle. There's no crime here. So
No crime here.
why are you in the courtroom from American Express making an American depressed because you in here telling something on me like I done did something. I haven't done anything.
Right. Right. And that was the most surreal thing. It's like these sons of bitches. They actually sent someone to my truck to testify that I bought these parts. Like that's supposed to be a crime.
Right. That
Of course I
part.
bought the parts.
That part, man.
It's like, it's like, of course I bought the parts. Of course I built those weapons. Of course I built those rifles. I named the rifles. They were mine. And I can tell you exactly, what I was interested in when I laid out the individual weapons designs.
Snitches, man. They're snitches.
I went into detail, by the way, at my truck because I took a stand. I went into detail about exactly what I was interested in and why and how these weapons work and what the physical principles are and why I thought I could do something to kind of bend the cost curve of everything from sport shooters to the military to police departments.
Yo, the only thing I think of, Dexter, based on what you just said, it maybe your innovations
Smart
could
black
have
man.
potentially
Smart black man.
potentially somebody else's money. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think nobody was trying to kind of steal my inventions. Because first of all these.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that. Okay, so this is what we've been talking about all night.
Yeah.
Is it possible? This is just a question. Is it possible that your innovations could have changed the status quo in the weapons industry? Is this possible?
Yeah. Of course, it's possible.
So, all right. So now that that's possible, you're talking about affecting people's ways of living, right? Just like we just said. We just said, yo, everybody that's in a position, they don't want nothing to affect their position. Uh-oh, here comes Dexter, an innovator. Okay, a gunsmith, an engineer. Hold on. Is it possible that this guy's intellect could affect our profit with these different kinds of weapons he's making?
Oh, I don't. You lost me there. Because the fact is that
this is what I'm saying.
Firearms industry. But listen to me. The firearms industry, especially in America, is very, very, very friendly to innovators. That's what you have to worry about. In other words, like this is no. I mean, like everyone. I mean, look, the firearms industry is one of the few industries that's still an American cottage industry. I mean, a lot of guys. I mean, the guy I bought my adjustable gas block from. He's like this dude named Kevin. He has kind of something called Rifle Speed. He has a barn in Tennessee where he just made it into a workshop and he turns out these gas blocks. Bill Geisley. Again, I'm always talking about here. Bill Geisley from Geisley Automatics. One of my heroes, not just a hero a hero of intellect in terms of his engineering, but a hero in terms of his patriotism and his like no compromise stance on the Second Amendment. He got his first contract building triggers for the U.S. Army sharpshooting team. You see, so
okay.
It's
not cutthroat like Tesla and Edison. It's not cutthroat like that.
No, it's not like that. Just
wanted to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
no, this is New York State. New York State got to eat all of this. New York State got to eat this whole meal. This is theirs. They did this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know then. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting here watching a I'm sitting here looking at a picture of Lawrence Jones III, the black man that's from Fox News, riding around on a horse.
Oh, yeah.
I've hit him up over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I guess I'm gonna put him in the Al Sharpton column.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna put Lawrence. I'll put Lawrence John. I put him in the Al Sharpton. He's a black man. See, that's what the problem that we have in the, and that's why I keep telling people, these black people, they get on the elevator. We let them go up on it, and then we say send the elevator back down. They don't never push the down button. They stay up there. They stay up there. They stay up there by themselves. They'll never come down like this dude from Fox. This black man that's on this horse. That's down there getting photoshopped and some everything else. I mean, Lawrence, he could say something, but you know, he's up there.
I mean,
he took the elevator up. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to give him grace, but I mean, he's actually been on Sonny Johnson's show. He and I were on Sonny Johnson's show on the same day. Her radio show on the same day.
He should be talking.
She mentioned him. Yeah, he should. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and by the way, listen, I didn't need Lawrence Jones to send no elevator down for me. I was on the elevator. I was fixing it to the penthouse, and these people snatched me out of there and threw me off the building.
Do you?
I just needed to look down and be like, "Hey, it's a brother on a sidewalk needs assistance."
There you go.
That's it. I didn't need him to, bro. I didn't need him to, but you know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't need him to. Like I built my career over 30 some odd years. Put the work in. I taught myself, the reason I feel a kind of way when people say I graduated school, I didn't graduate college. I taught myself how to write code. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I taught myself. I bought the books. Some days, some weeks, I would choose between books and food, and I would choose books. Yeah? And then I landed my first job in the industry here in 1994. I came back up here from Baltimore to work in the industry. So I didn't need Lawrence Jones to help me, get up and no, thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was building my data center. I was building my mainframe in the basement. I have my workshop. I've built 3 recording studios. I turned my whole life into a schoolroom. I turned my whole life into a laboratory. I don't need Lawrence Jones's help to get up there. I just needed to bear witness. That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening. Huh?
Acknowledge it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I gotta let him know again that Trump can't pardon him. So,
yeah, Trump can't pardon me. It's not a federal case.
Let him know.
By the way, it's not a federal case. That should tell you something because ATF was in my crib on the day of the raid. ATF was in my house.
But they're fed.
All the guys with the ATF windbreakers. Okay, and they looked around and they were like, "Nothing to see here. Bye." And we never saw them again. This is a state case. It's purely a state beef. Okay, and so what we're looking for, my legal team is already doing the legal side. In terms of my appeal, what we want is for Trump's DOJ to start looking hard at New York State because New York State is systematically violating people's basic civil rights. And by the way, when the Supreme Court came down in 2022 and said, look, this is a new standard for how we're going to judge the constitutionality of gun laws. And you were kind of out of line. You know what they said? They said, we don't care. We don't care what the Supreme Court says. We don't care what the Constitution says. This is the other thing. When people come at me with this bullshit about permits, they forget that, not all permitting systems are created equal. In Utah, where I actually put in my paperwork when I was a member of my gun range to get my Utah permit. In Utah, basically you submit your paperwork, you get a background check. If you're clean, you get your permit. That's it. That's it. It's a shall issue state. Now, by contrast, in New York, okay, no, you don't just get a background check. You don't just get fingerprints or whatever. No. You got to give them your social media passwords. You got to give them your social media passwords. so they can make sure you don't believe anything the government disagrees with. Huh?
Really?
You have to get letters of recommendation, even assuming they're clean. People have to write letters for you. And you got to pay a bunch of money. And then, wait a minute, and then they might still say no. Okay? So don't tell me that it's just a piece of paper. Don't bullshit me. They're trying to turn rights into privileges. And you want to let them. You don't just let them. You don't just, like that's okay. Like, that's not a problem.
Right.
Listen. Don't get me started. Don't get me started up here, please. You know what I'm saying? About to get upset here.
Well, I've got hit up a couple of times, Dex. Everybody's wanting to know how you're doing. So if you wanna,
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Every morning. Every morning I wake up. 100% on my mission. That's how I'm doing. You know, I've got my job here. I'm a porter in the school building, so you know, I just light janitorial duties, and then I get to go to the library any day or every day if I want. You know, so yeah, I'm just here. You know, working, reading, praying, working out, and getting on my phone calls and trying to spread the word. So I'm good to go. I don't have any special complaints about life on the inside. My complaint is that I'm here. That's the complaint. But thank God I'm around good people. I'm in a cell block with good people. We have a lot of laughs. You know, we go back and forth, talk shit, whatever. You know, and one thing that actually surprised me, like how much laughter there is up in here. You know, so I'm good to go. It's just like, well, we got to do something about this. You know, that's all. But I'm good to go. I'm 100% good to go. 100%. Like I said, I wake up every morning. Huh? So people need to stop worrying. My enemies have me completely surrounded, which means they can't get away from me now. They can't get away from me now. Okay? It's like they swallowed the pill. Instead of saying that, we're gonna put go ahead and do that. All right, no problem. Here I am. I'm gonna give you indigestion now. No problem. No problem. You be looking for some Rolaids now. You don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm good to go, man. Don't worry about me at all. If my people outside are good, I'm good. My parents are good, you know. I call them all the time. I keep them laughing. You know, my friends, my daughter, my ex-wife, I talk to them all the time. You know, we're good. It's just like, let's go. Let's take this fight to the enemy.
That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%.
You ready?
Sir.
Ring that bell. We ready.
Yes, sir. Ring the alarm.
Ring that bell.
Ring the alarm. Ring the bell, then.
we can skip the introductions. You know who I am. You know who he is.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Well, you got a lot of people. You got a lot of people out here rooting for you, man. You got a lot of people out here believing in you.
No, I do.
Believing that we're gonna turn this thing around. You know, and I'll always say that we. But with everybody that's doing whatever little that we can do to keep your name out there. That's what's important. I mean, I don't ever want to get to a point where we're not talking about you or somebody's not talking about you. So we're gonna keep keep that part going.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Always know.
And by the way, I want to. Yes, sir. I know that, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I feel blessed and highly favored. Trust me, like my friend Son Johnson always says. And by the way, I want to get some shout outs right now. Dana Lesh, Chris Cooper, Carl, my buddy Texas back at the ranch, back at Switching Yard Studios in Bushwick. Eric Blanford, The Iraq vet. We still have to talk. We're hopefully gonna schedule an interview this quarter. Jared Yanis from Guns and Gadgets. Braden from Langley Outdoors Academy. Michael Marshall from Liberty First. Frank Johnson from the Range Report. Jordan Banks. Mike Soto. Shout out to Six Soto. Dick Heller. Chris Turtell. You, Reverend Christopher. Again, my friend Sonny Johnson, one of the most righteous conservatives out there. You know, they never had her back to CPAC because she was too strong for him. Jeff Charles and Donnie the Don. Ryan Kleckner, who I hope to hear from one of these days. He's the guy who had the service Riot FFL that I had subscribed to because I was trying to learn how to apply for my FFL before I got rated. Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch, Liberty Policy Alliance, Range Minded Podcast, and Rick Barrett, the Armed Catholic, and also my buddy Viva Fry. Who has I think of all the people I know on the outside, I think I've had the most talks with him because he was recording talks with me back when I was still in Rikers, and yeah, he's been a soldier. Oh, and there's also Kim Iverson, Allison Morrow, Chris Salcedo with Newsmax. Oh, and Owen Schroyer from InfoWars. I did a couple talks with him while I was outside.
Alex Jones.
I'm missing some people, but
you spoke with Alex Jones?
No, I spoke with Owen Schroyer, who also works for InfoWars.
Okay.
Yeah, Owen Schroyer. Owen Schroyer's a real one, by the way. Yeah, I was on him. I was on his show by myself one time, and then the next time I was there with him and what's his name? Mike Cargill when he was fighting a Supreme Court case. Oh, and Kyle Seraphin. If Kyle Seraphin's listening, brother, I definitely want to get on with you again and chop it up about weapons science and the Second Amendment. Let's see, Brian O'Shea and Naomi Wolf, who I think they're in the upstate region somewhere. We were trying to get together and do a podcast before I went inside. Now I'm here live, but hopefully they can hear the sound of my voice. Brian O'Shea and Naomi Wolf, we definitely need to get together and talk. I'd love to talk. So, like I said, I know I'm missing some people, but I just wanted to say that I got a lot of love for my Second Amendment patriots out there. It's like I don't feel like I'm alone. I don't feel like I'm forgotten because I know there's people out there just raising their voices and spreading the word and refusing to be quiet about this. And that's all we can expect. That's more than we can ask for. It's a blessing. It's grace. You know what I'm saying? And so all I can do is say, I'm not gonna try to make it like I deserve it. I'm grateful for it. Thank you. And I'm gonna try to be worthy of it. I'm gonna be worthy of it by getting up every day, uppity, and ready for the fight, ready for the mission, 100%. So yeah, that's what this is. That's what this is up in here.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm rolling with the best, man. I'm rolling with the best people. I'm rolling with the best people.
Well, hey, yo, let me know about the 17th through the 20th if you can do anything. If not, don't worry about it.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Always.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
yes, sir.
Well, that's awesome to hear. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know a couple of people was asking, so we just want to make sure that your mind, your heart, and your spirit is right, and whatever we need to do to pray on that. So we'll definitely throw those out and say, when you pray, and make sure you throw some prayers his way. That's one of the things that I always tell people when people say, I'll pray for you, Rev. I don't turn down blessings. You get people to pray for you, it's a blessing, and you just don't turn down.
That's right.
You don't turn down blessings. So I don't never turn blessings down.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
with everything. So make sure y'all
Yeah,
put Dexter in on your prayer card, because I know he's on my on mine at church, and we pray for him every Sunday. So we just want to make sure we get that out there. So, but other than that, man, anybody got anything else you want to break off before we end this for tonight, or?
Nah, like I said, man, I just want to give all praise, reverence, and service and credit to the Most High. And, that's all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yes, sir. Thanks and praise every day. Every day.
Right.
And I just want to say that we don't need to do anything fancy. The good news about this case is how simple it is.
Okay.
These are basic rights. These are basic civil rights. This is not hard. This is right. This is the Second Amendment, right after the first. Right. So we don't. Right. We don't have to reach. We don't have to dig deep. We don't have to find some obscure point of law, to explain why. It's like none of that is necessary. This is basic. And all we need to do is to acknowledge what is actually the truth, which is that these are basic civil rights, and we cannot allow them. We can't allow any government, no matter who's running it, to trample on them. Can't allow that. It's not acceptable.
Those are facts.
And black folks especially should know better. So and the scriptures say, "He that knoweth and doeth not shall be beaten with many stripes."
Right. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if you know, right, if you know it, right, then you got to act accordingly.
That's right.
That's it. So don't let these people create a system that is separate, unequal, and then look at you in your face like you're just supposed to deal with it. No. The answer, if they can't keep our streets safe, right? If they can't do their job without trampling on their rights,
1 minute left.
then we can't use them, right? It's like, if you can't do that without removing my basic rights, we can't use you. Sit down. We'll get somebody else. Thank you. And that's it. That's it.
That's it, man.
Right,
there's a word.
All right, so we'll wrap, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, Rev.
We'll be with you always.
Always. You know that.
Sounds like a deal. Hey, I appreciate you too. Thank you, Carl, for what you do on the backside of this here thing here and everything.
Yes, sir.
Carl, is there something you wanted to close out with?
No, I just want to thank everybody for listening, and everybody have a good night.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
All right, we appreciate you. Dexter, we'll talk to you later, man. You be good until we do that.
All right, brother.
All right.
God bless you.
There
brother.
you go.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
There you go. Dexter Taylor, people. So like we were saying, make sure you put him in your prayers, number one. Number two, if there's somebody out there that you can throw a bone to them about Dexter, we ask that you do that. We definitely appreciate it. As long as we can keep his name out there in the public, out there going, that'll be awesome. If you guys want to bug Don Jr. And tell him that Reverend Christopher said he needs to answer the question that Dana Loesch asked him, I'll appreciate that too. Dexter may not want to answer to it, but I want an answer to it. But anyway, hey, y'all have a good night. We definitely appreciate you. Join us again next Sunday. I'm sure we got a lot more to talk about, a lot of things to be said. But y'all have a good night. Peace, fam. I'm out.